This is just something I found interesting. I'm not making any sort of assumptions or conclusions. What is a sleeper agent? A sleeper agent is someone who is secretly placed in a foreign country or even within their own society to blend in and live a normal life for months, years, or even decades until they're activated for a mission. They're called sleepers because they stay dormant, avoiding suspicion, while quietly building a cover life, jobs, friends, maybe even families. When activated, they might be asked to gather intelligence, spread propaganda, sabotage something, or carry out direct actions. In the Cold War, US versus the Soviet Union, the KGB was famous for planting sleeper agents in the US and Canada. Some posed as regular immigrants running businesses or raising families while secretly sending information back to Moscow. In 2010, the FBI busted a whole network of Russian sleeper agents living in suburban America, known as the Illegals Program. They had been there for years. One even had kids in a school. In Nazi Germany, World War II, Nazis trained and sent agents into Allied countries to blend in, sometimes disguised as refugees or defectors. Modern times, concerns about sleeper agents are still around today, especially tied to cyber warfare, terrorism, and foreign influence operations. They may not always be spies with trench coats anymore. Sometimes they're people with influential jobs in tech, politics, or media who push subtle narratives. Sleeper agents aren't always about bombs and guns. Some are influence operatives. Their role is to push ideas, create division, or make a country weaker from the inside. Examples could include running online accounts to stir up division, infiltrating universities, activist groups, or media, normalizing certain behaviors slowly over time. Why they're hard to detect? They don't act suspicious until they're activated. They live as normal citizens, jobs, families, mortgages. Sometimes they don't even know when they'll be activated. They just wait for instructions. The big picture, the idea of sleeper agents tie into a broader theme. You don't destroy a strong country from the outside. You plant seeds inside, let them grow, and then weaken it from within. So then I ask about sleeper agents committing assassinations without their own knowledge. It says, you're asking about the darker psychological side of sleeper agents, the idea that someone could be programmed to commit an act like an assassination without consciously knowing they're doing it. This moves us from traditional espionage into mind control and psychological conditioning, things governments have experimented with. So the concept is called a Manchurian candidate. I don't know if I spelled that right. This is the idea a person could be conditioned or brainwashed through trauma, hypnosis, drugs, or repetition, given a trigger, a word, sound, or image that activates them, carry out an action, like an assassination, then forget or genuinely believe they didn't do it. Real experiments, the CIA experimented with LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and trauma-based mind control. Documents reveal they wanted to see if they could create controlled agents who could carry out missions without conscious awareness. Declassified files admit to attempt at creating amnesia walls in subjects, so the person wouldn't remember what happened. Soviet and Chinese programs. During the Cold War, there were rumors that the USSR and China were also experimenting with psychological programming to create operatives who couldn't be broken under interrogation because they didn't consciously know their mission. There are cases where people wonder if this was at play. Robert F. Kennedy's assassination. He later claimed he had no memory of the shooting, and evidence around hypnosis has been debated. Some researchers believe he may have been influenced or manipulated. John Lennon's assassin, his behavior before and after the murder sparked speculation. Though officially he was declared mentally ill, some think he might have been a programmed pawn. Mass shooters today. Some theories suggest that certain shooters now show robotic behavior, blank stares, and disassociation look that looks like they weren't fully aware. Science shows it's possible to create disassociation. Trauma and hypnosis can compartmentalize memories. Governments have tried. MKUltra proved they were at least experimenting with it. It explains the unexplainable. When someone commits an act they can't explain, the idea of sleeper programming fills the gaps. There is no public proof of a successful sleeper agent being activated this way, but the research attempts and patterns have a lot of people convinced it's more than fiction.